Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Amani. If you're not new here, hey, welcome back. I've said this in a couple other vlogs before, but typically I do like everyday like lifestyle content, and hopefully soon I'll be doing travel content. But another big piece of my life is literally reading. I love to read. I love books. I love recommending books. I love getting recommendations from other people, which is a new development. I just love reading, and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't have any content for real on any of my socials. Well, let me not lie, I do have a Booksta, but most people just think of me as one thing, and it's like I'm multiple things. And so here are one of the things that I am, and that is a notorious certified reader. I feel like I can say that I'm certified because I was one of those annoying kids in elementary that would tell you like, the book is better than the movie, because one, it is, and two, like when we had the option to go outside for recess, I was begging to stay inside because I wanted to go to the library. I was very fortunate to have a really great librarian all of my years and great teachers that let me literally do that, because what harm could be done by me being in the library with a supervising adult? None. But yeah, I was into everything. I was reading all the series. I read Harry Potter, even though I wasn't supposed to. I read all the Twilight books. Definitely wasn't supposed to do that. Maze Runner, Hunger Games, Mortal Instruments, Divergent, like all the things that have probably been turned into some kind of media other than a book. I've probably read it already. And if I haven't, then I will probably hop on it as soon as I find out that it was a book before, right? So like I just finished the first season of Off Campus. I didn't know it was a book. Now I gotta go read all, I think 6 books by, I think her name is Elle Kennedy, or Kennedy L, no, it's Elle Kennedy. So now I gotta go read those because I didn't know she was moving like that. I had seen the books, I think, before, but I didn't make the correlation to the show until I hopped on Amazon to order something, and it was like Off Campus, and then it was like the books and all the things, and I was like, wait, who am I? What am I? I had never been into like hockey romance before, but they've got a fan of me. Anyway, all that to say, I'm here to help solve whatever issue that made you click this video, whether you are in a reading slump, or if you just need some book recommendations, or you know, you just want to hear me talk. Like, I'm here to chat with you guys, so let's get our chatting on. So I can say confidently that I have read probably close to like 600 books. Like within my lifespan, I think I'm about to hit like 600. I set a different goal every single year, except for college. We ignore those years because college was hard, okay? It was very hard for me, and I was struggling, and books just were not in my routine of things that needed to be done. So we're gonna ignore college, but every other year before that, we've always had a goal. My mom was one of those moms that made us read 30 minutes before bed. It wasn't even like a chore or like a forceful thing for me. I was lit. I was turned. Like, she was the mom that had to take the book away from me because I did something bad. Like, I was really chatty in class sometimes, and she'd be like, give it here. And I'd be like, really? Like, you're gonna do this to me? So all that to say, I've always had a goal every single year. Last year was 60 books, or it was 65 books. I hit 80, and this year is 80, and I'm hoping to truly hit 100. I'm on book 49 right now. I also have a deadline for when I want to meet all these books. I know that's like so much pressure to put on myself, but I want to finish all these books by the time that I graduate from my master's program. That's another little fun fact, tidbit piece about me. I am currently in a master's program, getting my master's degree in criminal justice at the University of Oklahoma. That is equally as hard, but now that it's online, I have more time to, one, work, because who else can afford to go to school right now, and to read and like have my own like free time and stuff like that. So yeah, I want to finish my book goal when I finish my school goal. So we're gonna see how that goes. Right, so far I'm like on a good track according to Fable. If you are on Fable, make sure you follow me. I will follow back. I love engaging with people on Fable. It's like such a fun like book social media. But according to Fable, I should be finished with my book goal by November, so we're gonna see if that really works. I don't know about you guys, but I was very heavily involved in the Love Island drama this summer. And I'm so glad it's over because now I have my life back and I can get back to reading. I thought I could be the multitask queen and watch and read and go to work and I wasn't. The only reading I was doing was tweets and TikTok comments. And obviously that cannot be my only form of literature. So now that it's over and we have our winners, Brenity, and with our follow-up, Carl and Anaya. Love it real bad. I am now coming out of the book slump that I was in. I currently am in the search, like on the hunt for another book, because I finished one earlier today that actually made this list because it was just giving me like a summer vibe. Like it was the perfect read for a summer day. So without further ado, I would say let me stop chatting, but that's the whole point of this video. So we're just gonna go ahead and get into the recommendations. I wrote them out on my phone so I wouldn't be all over the place. I'm all over the place all the time. And even with this list, I'll probably still be all over the place, but give me some grace. So the first category that I separated them into, I think 4 categories, but the first category is feel good romance. And we're starting off very strong, but very like soft as well. I don't know if you guys enjoy smut. I do, but I know there's a lot of people out there that would rather have a closed door moment. They don't need to be in the room with the characters getting it on, and I can understand that. That's not what I prefer, but if that is what you prefer, here's my first choice. The Rom-Commers by Catherine Center. This was actually my first book that I read by her, and she is definitely a closed door romance girly. I love it. I feel like her books are more about like the love connection, if that makes sense. So let me just go ahead and give you guys the little summary. So the main characters in this one are Emma Wheeler and Charlie Yates. Emma Wheeler is a struggling screenwriter who gets the opportunity of a lifetime when she is hired to help legendary screenwriter Charlie Yates rewrite his latest romance screenplay. You know why? Because it sucked. The only problem is that Charlie doesn't believe in love stories or happy endings. As they work together, their creative differences turn into unexpected chemistry and force them to question what they truly believe about love. Super, super cute. The vibe of this book is definitely enemies to lovers. It has a slow burn situation happening. It is set in Hollywood. There's definitely like a rom-com energy. It is a feel-good summer read, and I agree with all those descriptions. I really like Catherine Center because she makes her female main characters so witty and funny and sarcastic, and I feel like sometimes like the goal for a lot of authors is to make the female main character all those things, but it comes off as like corny or like try hard. And in this case, it's like a perfect mix. Like it's right before corny, if that makes sense. Like if there was like a line and it was like not funny at all, hilarious, and then like right here is like corny, like it's like, no, so I guess it would be after, because I think it's funny, but it's like right after corny. Like it doesn't make you uncomfortable. It's just like, LOL, haha. And I love any book where the male is written by a woman because we do it better. We do it better. We write these men of like what we would want to be involved with, and unfortunately half of them aren't real. But the male character in this one, Charlie, he is that grumpy vibe, which I also really prefer. Like if I were to set out the list of tropes that I love, I would definitely say second chance. I never do cheating for real. I did cheating once and it made me sick to my stomach. So I don't do that, but I do second chance. I love the grumpy sunshine. I like sports romance. I love a slow burn. I know a lot of people get irritated very quickly because it's like, why aren't you guys going anywhere? And unfortunately, I am one of those people where I'm like, girl, it's like the 400th page. It's like 410 pages deep, and I'm like, wow, they finally touched hands. It was meant to be. So I'm one of those people. I know it's like irritating. One of my friends is definitely not like that. She's always like, ew, and I'm like, you don't get it. You don't get it. But that is my first recommendation, The Rom-Commers by Catherine Center. I have the physical copy because I loved it so much. The next one is the one that I read today, what I was talking about earlier. It's called Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. I'll give her 10s. I thought it was really, really cute and sweet and realistic. I feel like sometimes in fiction books, we don't get the realistic vibe. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of the billionaire trope, because while I love when the man spend all that money on his girl.
Spin that shit. Spin that shit. Yeah. Spin that shit.
Love that bad. Sometimes it just makes it like, you know, like out of touch or like not tangible when you're trying to like relate it back to like your real life. And so with this book in particular, the main characters are Samantha and Xavier. And the summary is that Samantha and Xavier have an unforgettable first meeting that quickly turns into a deep connection. However, when a real-life circumstance complicates their relationship, they must figure out whether their feelings are strong enough to overcome the challenges standing between them. And I don't think this is a spoiler. No, it's not a spoiler because it literally is mentioned in the first chapter, I want to say. But Samantha's mother has dementia. And I personally haven't experienced anything like that. But to hear the stories about people losing people when they're still alive is so heartbreaking. And I feel like Miss Abby did a really good job of highlighting how complicated this disease is and how it affects everybody around the person that is also affected. And I feel like she did a good job of like letting us know like what was going on, while also giving us like the navigation of Samantha trying to figure out like her love life and also just regular life as well. Like I was saying, like it's very realistic. She is I think I don't want to say director, but she's like a marketing social media person. So she works for this like mustard company, and she gets to write all like the witty stuff that comes on social media. The best example that I can give you is like when Cheez-Its and Cordell from season 6 of Love Island came together and we're doing all those collabs and stuff like that. Or even like now, like with, you know, Serena and Janae, and I think Kaylor too, from season 6 of Love Island. They're collabing with Chili's, like stuff like that, or anything that has to do with like Alandria and different brands. Like that was the kind of vibe it was giving for this story. And then Xavier is a doctor. He is a doctor of the animals. How cute. He also has that grumpy, well, the book itself has that grumpy sunshine trope going on. He's very like, ugh, like I hate people. I rather talk to the animals than talk to you kind of vibe. But of course, Samantha catches his eye and, you know, his whole tune changes. I really like stuff like that. So that's why I really like this book. The vibe for this one is definitely a summer romance. There is an emotional connection that is quite strong. Now, I said this earlier and I still stand by it. I'm very much like a slow burn girl. So anytime I read like a regular paced book, I'm always like, is this not fast? Like, how you in love with him already? But for most people, it would make sense. I'm just dramatic. It's definitely one of those right person, wrong time stories. It's very heartfelt and romantic. So I really like that one. That was the one that I said earlier that I finished earlier today. It was only like 300 and I think like 70 pages, and that was like the perfect medium for me. I usually read books that are like 500 to 600 pages long, so that was good. My next one is a little more on the heavily emotional side, but I would still recommend because it's just a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful book. And I think what I just realized about this list is that these are all like the first books that I read by this author. So like Say You'll Remember Me is the first Abby Jimenez book that I've ever read. The Rom-Commers was my first Catherine Center book, and now this one is 7 Days in June by Tia Williams. So 7 Days in June follows both Eva and Shane Hall. So I'll just give you the summary real quick before I get into why I like it so much. Eva Mercy is a successful romance author, and I want to say she's a romantasy author at that, because if I'm remembering correctly, she was like writing about like vampires and witches or something like that. Either way, I would have read the book if it was real too. But yeah, she is a author, and she's a single mother who unexpectedly reunites with Shane Hall, the man who broke her heart years ago. Now, both successful writers, they are forced to confront their shared past, unresolved feelings, and whether they can create a future together. So the vibe for this one is definitely second chance romance, which I keep bragging about. I love, love, love! Like, those are my top two. Like, Secret, not Secret, I hate Secrets, low-key. Second chance romance and Slow Burn, top freaking two. Black Love, it's in New York City, I want to say, and then they have a deep connection as well. This one was such a wonderful read. I literally read it in 2023, and what's so funny is I think I watched the movie The Perfect Find first, and I went to go read the book because I found out that it was a book, like I always do. And I went to go rent it from the library, or yeah, rent it from the library. I feel like that's not the right word to use. Borrow from the library, and somebody already borrowed it before me. So I was just like, well, I feel like I would like this author because I like the movie. The movie was okay, but I enjoyed it. So I was like, I know that I'm gonna enjoy the book more. And that's how I stumbled upon 7 Days in June, and like, what a funny coincidence. Loved it bad, and that will always be a book I recommend no matter what time of year, what mood you're in. I will always like push that forward to you. I did cry reading this book, but that's also because I'm a crybaby and I'm always emotional. Which leads me to the next book, which also made me cry. Honey and Spice by Bolu Babalola. Ugh, girl. Like, so this one is like a college-based romance, and I'm mad because I didn't have no college-based romance. I had a college-based situationship that drained the absolute life out of me. 3 years down the drain of shenanigans. Anyway, the main characters of this book are Kiki Banjo and Malachi Corday. Kiki is a college... what is she? Oh yes, Kiki is a college relationship expert who has built her reputation around avoiding messy romantic situations. When she clashes with Malachi, a charming and misunderstood student, their rivalry slowly develops into something neither of them expected. And I'm not gonna spoil, but there is a second book, and it's called Sweet Heat. And it came out literally in 2025. I think it actually came out on my birthday, and I read it on my birthday and sobbed on my birthday because the book was just that good. Ugh, wow, wow, wow. This one is a college romance. It has a very, very witty banter, enemies to lovers, black love, and I definitely would recommend it as a summer like read, especially because we're about to head back into like school season. And I love that book down bad. I've actually reread it because I loved it so much. Like, Kiki, I want to be her. Okay, like, wow. Wow, wow. That book was so freaking good. This is also one of my highly recommended books. If anybody ever asks me, I don't recall it being like super graphic either. Like, this one was more, if we're gonna say graphic, like I would say emotionally graphic. Like, I feel like we were digging into the depths of my soul and like pulling out like why I don't feel loved. How crazy is that? But like, that's the power of books for real. Like, wow. Wow, I need to stop. I'm so irritating. Now this one, we're about to get into some spice for real. Okay, Liz Tomforde, come to the front. Let me say something. So I am not gonna hold you. I was a Mile High hater. I don't hold it as high as I hold the other books, and that's only because I didn't like Xander. And it's not because of like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, to be completely honest with you, but I was not his fan for a long time. And then it switched and I wasn't really feeling Stevie because but Mile High once I went back and reread it because I had to like get out of like my hater mindset, it is really a fabulous book, and I think is such a great foundation for the rest of the series. Like, this is the definition of found family. Like, that trope, that would be like my number 3. Like, if I were to make a list, found family, I love because it really isn't about blood. Okay, like at the end of the day, it is truly about people that make you feel seen, loved, heard, and people that you can confide in and that they can confide in you. Like, that is really what family is about.
I don't have friends. I got family.
And if that's somebody you meet in college, if that is somebody that you've known since you were in elementary, if that's somebody that you work with, like, hold them tight, because real family will do you so wrong. I am one of the fortunate, lucky ones that I haven't had too many of those experiences, but I do know how it gets down, and it is not pretty. All that to say, let's talk about the Windy City series. Again, Mile High, the first book, about it's about Xander and Stevie, and Xander is a famous he is the famous a-hole hockey player of like all time. Like, this dude is goated. And Stevie, our cute animal loving girly, gets involved with him. She's a flight attendant. He is a hockey player. She is a flight attendant for the team. So she like rides on like all the plane rides and whatnot. Obviously what a flight attendant does. And her and Xander, they have their little moments and they end up getting together. I don't want to spoil it too much, but their chemistry is definitely there, and then it's even better behind them doors. So I bring up Mile High to actually bring up The Right Move. Now this one, between Ryan Shea and Rio, I can't pick. Ryan Shea happens to be Stevie's twin brother. Instead of the NHL franchise, he is in the NBA. Now, if you know me in real life, you should know I love basketball. Don't ask me for no crash course though, but I love basketball. I love watching it. I find it very entertaining. Like, if that was the sport, like if somebody was like, we gotta watch sports, that's what I would choose. I don't have anything against football. It's just I don't get it for real. And even with the World Cup going on right now, like soccer or football, it's hella entertaining, but like for me, nothing really tops basketball and women's gymnastics. Those are my like 2 faves. Anyway, Ryan Shea and Indy Ivers, it's about them. Indy is also a flight attendant with Stevie, and that's how she ends up meeting Ryan. So the summary for this one is Ryan Shea is a professional basketball player focused on his career and determined to avoid distractions. When Indy, his sister's best friend, needs a place to stay, the two become roommates and discover their connection may be more than friendship. Guys, slow burn, that's number 1. Forced proximity, that's number 2. And like, nothing beats a he falls first trope, because as you should, men should be saying I love you first, okay? Like, I'm sorry, put me on the stake, shoot me, whatever. Men should be saying I love you first, and we get it in this one. Y'all, this book literally has me giggling and kicking my feet and recommending to anybody that will talk to me. That's obviously why I'm sitting here talking to a camera, recommending it to people on YouTube. Because I love this freaking book, guys. It is so good. My favorite thing about the Windy City series is that, again, it goes back to the whole found family situation, but also it spans like all the national sports like leagues, right? So we have hockey, we have baseball, we have basketball, and I think we go back to hockey for a little bit, and then we go back to baseball. So it's not all the sports, but like all the like big ones, you know what I mean? Like after reading this series, like this whole hockey situation, I was like, I might need to go see what the Dallas Stars is talking about, because apparently we're good. I've just never been to a game because I never knew anything about hockey for real. But like now that I've been reading these romance books, speaking of which, Off Campus, come to the front. I actually need to go read those books. This is another situation where I was very unaware of what was going on. I accidentally watched Off Campus, like, well, I won't say accidentally, but I watched Off Campus thinking it was just like a TV show. Like, I didn't know it had all this history. So now I have to go back and find all 5, I think it's 5 books, and go read all of them. Because that first season, chef's freaking kiss. I know a lot of people were saying it's corny. I don't care. That's real television. That's what kind of TV I like to watch. It was literally so good. I finished it, I think, in 2 days. Yeah, 2 days. It was right when Love Island was finishing. Yeah, now I'm itching for it, and I'm really, really excited. I'm super excited about Allie and Dean. I can't wait to see what they got going on. First of all, who is in charge of casting? Because why is everybody on that cast attractive? Wow. And I don't even like white men like that, but wow. Anyway, still in the Liz Tomforde Windy City bag, Caught Up, Kai Rhodes and Miller Montgomery. I strive to be like Miller. Like, let me start that off right there. I love Miller. And I just found her so endearing and funny and sarcastic and like just that girl, okay? And I really like Kai too. Like the way he's described, he sounds cute. Like I'll be like, hey, I don't know if you guys ever do it. I definitely do it. I like to watch the little like TikTok edits of like where people do like the self-casting or like the casting for if this was to become like a TV show, that kind of situation. Because it's so funny to see people's like creative processes. They're like, oh, I think like when you are reading this is who you visualize. You know what I mean? Like, it just brings me back to like the Wattpad days, or Wattpad, however you guys want to say it. I say Wattpad. I was writing them fan fictions, okay? August Alsina, call me. But for real, I just think it's so funny. But anyway, the summary of Caught Up is Kai Rhodes is a professional baseball player and single father who has no interest in finding love. When Miller becomes his live-in nanny, their relationship begins as a practical arrangement, but slowly develops into something deeper. Again, slow burn, hello. Forced proximity, hello again. And it's a baseball romance, single dad. Like, something about him in books sounds fabulous. Them in real life, get away from me. We don't need to talk. Found family, soft romance, and emotional growth, because we got 2 hella hard-headed people thinking that they're just gonna be fine on their own. And like, I love in books and even in real life and in movies, I love it everywhere, when people realize that like people need people. You're not gonna be okay being alone, okay? Like, that's just not how life works, guys. We have to come together. Anyway, we're gonna take a quick pivot and go into romantasy. As you guys are probably already aware, if you haven't read it yet, I would definitely recommend it. I finally got off the hater train and hopped onto the bandwagon, and I read Fourth Wing. Rebecca, come to the front. She knows how to leave us hanging, bro, and it just makes me so sick to my stomach, because like, I don't want to read anymore, but it's like, if I don't read, then I won't find out. And then if I don't find out, then I'm going to be sick with only the little conclusion that I had. And then it's all going to be assumptions. And then I'm going to be like, what the, like, what? So Rebecca, girl, please give us a chance. Why did I cry reading Fourth Wing? I'm not going to say that because it's definitely a really big spoiler of why I was crying. But like, let me just say that. Like, I did cry. Anyway, I also read another book by Rebecca Yarros, and it's called The Last Letter. And if you guys have any knowledge about that freaking book, don't wear makeup when you read it. Don't read it in public. Please read it in the safety of your own home, in your bed, with 3 boxes of tissue, a cold compress, and a bottle of water, because I sobbed reading that book. And I wouldn't recommend it for this fun summer book list, but if you ever get the opportunity, I would definitely read it. I think I would read it probably around Christmas. No, because that would just bring down the Christmas mood. Whatever. I don't even know a good season to read that. I read it in May, I want to say, or April. Either way, sobbing. I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I was like, oh, I read Fourth Wing by her. I'm gonna read this other book that's like contemporary fiction by her as well. And I did, and I sobbed, and you cried, I cried, we crowed. Like, it was, oh, woo. But all that to say, going back to Fourth Wing, if you haven't seen it already, it is about to be turned into, I think, a TV show. Ooh, I'm cussing? What? It is about to be turned into a TV series, with Michael B. Jordan being the producer. Guess who will be locked in? I can't even speak English because I'm so excited. I will be locked in. But basically the story is about Violet Sorrengail. Violence. Expected to live a quiet life as a scholar, but her mother forces her into the dangerous world of dragon riders. At the War College, Violet must survive brutal training, deadly enemies, and her complicated relationship with the powerful rider, Xaden Ryerson. Oh, I love an enemies to lovers moment. I love the whole concept of dragons and magic, and like, first of all, women in power, because her mama runs that hoe like a tight Navy ship, okay? She does not play, and I'm actually kind of scared of her, and I'm scared of Violet's sister too, because y'all get down for real. What would I want to say about that? Because I'm so good for spoiling a book, not realizing that I spoiled it, so I'm trying to be like careful with my wording here. But I would definitely, if you're gonna read it, make sure you get Iron Flame immediately after, or have it on deck. And I'm so annoyed that I didn't think to do that before, but of course I wouldn't have known that she was gonna leave us with this hella big cliffhanger. But literally what happened was I bought the first book and I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna give it a try. It's all over Book Talk, and I really don't like Book Talk books most of the time because half of them are like AI and the other half are by authors that are terrible people, and who wants to be like a participant in that? But I got it, I read it, I rated it 1 out of 10, I gave it a 10, and I finished it literally at like 2 or 3 in the morning, and I was like trying to find out the quickest way to get the second book here ASAP. Unfortunately, I did have to go in store to get it, and I did spend quite a bit of money because I don't have any financial awareness. But I read that second book, Iron Flame, and it was so good. Also left me on a cliffhanger. And the only book that I have not read yet is Onyx Storm, because I heard that was the biggest cliffhanger of all. And she just released that she's about to start writing for the 4th book. And until I see that hoe published, we will not be reading Onyx Storm. You're not about to put me through that psychological warfare. That's what's not going to happen. But I would definitely recommend Fourth Wing. It is so fabulous, and it's such a fun like fandom to be a part of as well. Like, people reference like little things from the book all the time, and I'm like, wait, I understand that. That's so tea. I love that. So I would definitely recommend. Still staying in the fantasy realm, we have Legendborn by Tracy Deonn. Now this one I read on, I wouldn't say on accident, but I definitely was a little weary because the book that I got was from the library and it didn't have a cover. So I was just like, you know, this is the perfect moment not to judge a book by its cover, but also like I need to know what I'm getting into. So basically this book is about Bree Matthews, and I do not know how to say the other name. Swin Maxwell? I don't know. After losing her mother, Bree Matthews starts college at UNC and discovers a secret society connected to Arthurian legends. Like, hey, King Arthur, I haven't seen you in a minute. Ever since, what was that, a Disney movie? As she uncovers hidden magic and family secrets, Bree realizes she may have a much deeper connection to this world than she ever imagined. This one was such a fun read because there were so many like twists and turns, and I love reading about a black girl. Okay, a black girl trying to like navigate the world, one, and then navigate a magical world, two, after never being involved in the magical world in the first place. I love a plot like that. The reading vibe for this one is dark academia, secret societies, magic. It's a black girl fantasy, and I think it would be considered like young adult or like coming of age. Like, I wouldn't say it's like super youth, but this one is the first of a series. After it, I think, is Bloodmarked, and then, or is it Oathbound? It's either Bloodmarked or Oathbound. I haven't read either of those ones because I just now got my hands on them like maybe a couple months ago. And I want to reread Legendborn before I get into those ones because I know I'm going to have too many questions for myself and it's going to irritate me. And then I'm going to like DNF it, and I don't want to do that. But I haven't had time to like start the series as like a whole. But now that Love Island is over, I do. So I would definitely recommend that one. The first one was so fabulous, like so good. And that one was recommended to me by one of my sister's friends, and she was just like, have you read it before? And I was like, no. But I checked it out from the library and I loved it. So shout out to you, Lauren. Mwah, love you. My next one, this isn't a summer read. I just want to preface that. I feel like this is more of a winter read, but I really just want to recommend this book because I really liked it. Apparently this was also a Book Talk book, but I wasn't on Book Talk when it was popular on Book Talk, if that makes any sense. So this one is Quicksilver by Callie Hart, Sarah Fane, and Kingfisher. Sarah Fane has spent her life hiding her mysterious abilities, but one mistake transports her into the dangerous world of the Fae. There, she becomes connected to Kingfisher, a powerful warrior, and discovers her destiny is much larger than she ever imagined. Guys, I understand the hype. It was fabulous. I personally like it more than the second book. This one is also a series. I think a third book is in the works right now, but I could definitely be lying. The second book is called Brimstone. I like the first one more, and that's why I'm recommending that one instead of the series together. I feel like once I get that third book, then maybe I'll push it all together and recommend. But Quicksilver is definitely fun. I always think it's so interesting to see like romance in the fantasy world, like romantasy, because they can get down in a way regular human beings can't, and like it be making me think like, wow, I wish we really had magic for real, because that sounds fun. So I would definitely recommend it. But if you are trying to do it like based on the season, I would think I feel like it's more of a winter book. I don't know if that makes sense. I feel like if you read it and you're like, or if you have read it and you're like, yeah. But if you disagree, please let me know. I could just be a liar. Oh, this is my last recommendation. This one is something that will make you feel something. This is more of a contemporary fiction book. For a while here, like for the past couple months, I'm not even gonna hold you, I've been in my contemporary fiction era, and I read this one in particular. It's called The Bright Years by Sarah Damoff, and I think she's actually from Texas. So shout out her. Hey, my Texas gal. I read this last summer actually, and I loved it so much. Like, 5-star read. 5-star chick, like so great. So this one is about multiple generations. The Bright Years explores a family's journey through love, loss, secrets, and the moments that shape who they become. The story examines the complicated ways families carry both joy and pain while showing how the choices we make impact the people we love. It's definitely a family drama kind of book, very emotional. I feel like the storytelling is phenomenal, very reflective, and it kind of like makes you, like, again, what the word reflective means, like, to makes you take a step back and like look at what you got going on in life, you know what I mean? Like, are you making the right choices? Are you being considerate of others? Are you being considerate of yourself? Like, how did we get from point A to point B? And like, at some point, like, we're beyond point B. We're at point like G. And it's like, how did we get here? You know what I mean? And it's character driven. Again, like, I keep saying it, but like, this one was such a fabulous read. 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars. I actually have one more suggestion that I would like to throw into the mix, and let me make sure I'm not lying about it before I pull it up, or before I say it. I recently read this one too. It's called The Names, and it's by Florence Knapp. Guys, 5-star freaking read, okay? 5-star read. Let me read it to you. This is from the publisher. Can a name shape the course of a life? In the wake of the 1987 storm, Cora sets off with her 9-year-old daughter, Maya, to register her son's birth. Her husband, Gordon, a local doctor, respected in the community but a terrifying and controlling presence at home, intends for her to follow his family tradition going back generations and name the child Gordon. But on the journey there, Cora wonders if it's right to impose the burden of this name and its legacy onto her newborn son. She herself has Julian in mind, and Maya offers up her own Bear. What follows are 3 alternate and alternating versions of her son's life shaped by Cora's last-minute choice of name. Spanning 35 years, the novel takes in themes of domestic abuse, the messy ties of family, and the possibility of autonomy and healing. In prose as precise and intimate as it is thrilling, Knapp draws us from the very first page, ushering in the tenderness of close family connections as we follow 3 unforgettable journeys, each heart-pounding in its own way. While echoes of Life After Life by Kate Atkinson and deep characterization reminiscent of Anne Patchett, Knapp's debut will make you gasp as you root for Cora, Maya, and Bear, Julian/Gordon. Weighing up which has been the better life, not just for the central character, but also for his mother, grandmother, and sister. Guys, so I made the mistake of reading this at work. I was like taking a little break and I was like, oh, like I'm gonna read because I haven't been reading. When I tell you, you basically almost had to carry me up out of that office because I was sobbing so hard. Such a great, fantastic read, and I will probably shout that from the freaking rooftops. That is also a 5-star read for me. Yeah. Again, you should follow me on Fable. I'll put it up here, and Goodreads. I post all my book reviews like it's my only life's mission at the moment. So if you want to hear any more book reviews from me, please let me know. And if you have a book that you read and you're just like, are we feeling the same thing? You can just like search it up and see if I said anything about it. And most likely I probably have, because I'm irritating. But those are all of my recommendations. Thank you guys for staying for this hella long video. I will probably have some more book recommendations next week. I just had those like sitting heavily like on me at the moment. I was like, oh my god, I need to share these with somebody, so I'm sharing them with you guys. And I didn't want to make any like short form content because I do that all the time, and I just feel like I can't get the same point across about like how much I love the book in 30 seconds. So I was like, let me just sit down and be a real YouTuber and chat with you guys. So this is like literally all in one take. I'm about to edit it when I click off, but I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys want me to review any books or you need some more recommendations, please let me know in the comments or even on my Bookstagram. I'll also put that up here. Yeah, we could just like hop on in it, like we can get into it for real. But I love you guys. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you guys in my next vlog. Bye.